the opening statement, and then we would ask the clerk to swear in the witnesses.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Eric Silva, RER. In accordance with the Code of Miami-Dade County, all items to be heard today have been legally advertised in the newspaper. Notices have been mailed and the properties have been posted. Additional copies of the agenda are available here in the chambers. Items will be called up to be heard by agenda number and name of applicant. Please note, board action on any item at today's meeting may be reconsidered and additional action may be taken on such an item at the same meeting. Applicants and members of the public may wish to govern themselves accordingly. The record and file for the hearing on each application will include documents from the public, agencies, the Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources, and where there's an appeal from the Community Zoning Appeals Board, we also have a transcript from those hearings. All documents are physically present today, available to all interested parties, and available to the members of the Board of County Commissioners who may examine these items from the record during the hearing. Parties have the right of cross-examination. This statement, along with the fact that all witnesses have been sworn in, shall be included in any transcript of these proceedings. In addition, there is an official translator present in the chambers for those individuals requiring such assistance. Will the clerk please swear in the witnesses?
Please stand and raise your right hand.
You're providing testimony today. Please stand and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may be seated. Interpreters, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will make a true interpretation of the questions asked and testimony given? Thank you.
Mr. Director, do we have any requests for deferrals?
No deferrals.
All right, so Madam Attorney, is it in order to take 3A, 3A supplement, and 3A1 with its companion item in zoning 8C2?
Yes, Mr. Chair. This first CDMP item before you today is a small-scale application that was previously heard on first reading. This application is before you today for public hearing and final action. I will read the ordinance title and also reference a companion resolution in the event that this board wishes to convert the item to a standard application and transmits. However, if the board takes final action today on this small-scale application, then the companion resolution will be deemed withdrawn. Please note that this CDMP item has a concurrent zoning application associated with it, which is item 8C2. A single public hearing will be held and incorporated into the record as to both the CDMP and zoning items, and this hearing will be conducted in accordance with quasi-judicial principles. The ordinance title is Ordinance Relating to Miami-Dade County Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing disposition of application number CDMP 2023-0026. Located on the northeast corner of the intersection of Southwest 232 Street and Southwest 112 Avenue. Filed by Lennar Homes, LLC, as an October 2023 cycle application to amend the county's comprehensive development master plan, providing severability, exclusion from the code, and an effective dates. And as mentioned before, there's a companion resolution that will be withdrawn unless the board converts this to a standard application. Now would be the appropriate time to open the public hearing.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up public hearing. I have no public speakers signed up to speak, so I will go ahead and close public hearing on these items. On this item, both zoning and CDMP. Is the applicant here? Mr. Arza, how much time will you need?
Mr. Chairman, Hugo Arza, 701 Brickell Avenue, representing the applicant here this morning. My presentation is 6-7 minutes. However, we enjoy staff's recommendation, have received recommendations from the Planning Advisory Board of approval, and if it's the wish of the commission, I can forego the presentation in its entirety, and if you all want to ask any questions, at your wish.
Let's hear from the district commissioner. Commissioner from District A, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been fully briefed on this item, and as Mr. Arza has articulated on the record, he does enjoy staff's approval, and it did receive a vote of support from the Community Council. I have reviewed the application and the corresponding covenants. I don't have any additional questions unless my colleagues do. So with that, I'm happy to move the item consistent with staff's recommendation.
So the item moved, consistent with staff recommendations. Abby, do you have something?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we would recommend
adding a 10-day condition to revise the covenant and submit a legally sufficient covenant and an opinion of title. There's just a small discrepancy
It
with a
seems the
footnote in
applicant
the
is good
legal
with that.
description.
We
Otherwise,
have no
See him
objection.
nodding. No objection by the applicant. There's a motion by the district commissioner. There's a second by Commissioner Gilbert. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bastian,
Yes.
Commissioner Bermudez,
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen-Higgins,
4.
Senator Garcia, Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
4.
Commissioner Higgins, Commissioner Regalado,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinberg, Vice Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Show that item passed. Congratulations, Mr. Arza. Thank you. Mr. Attorney, let's take item 8C2. Does the director need to read anything into the record?
Application 8C2, UL112 LLC, application number Z2023-000-447. We've had no protests and no waivers of support in this application.
All right. No public hearing for this item, right? All right. So, Commissioner from District 8, you're recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the concurrent zoning application. And as I stated previously, I've been briefed and I move this zoning application consistent with staff's recommendation. I do have one request to the applicant. When you all do your site plan and you're actually developing this community, I do ask, considering that you're in our agricultural area, for you to make the aesthetics, the outward appearance of these homes to be reminiscent of the area. So more of a barn style. I've asked that in the past. You all have agreed to that in the past. That aesthetic does very well in the district, and so I would just ask that you consider that aesthetic to be included when you get to that phase of this project. But other than that, I do move this zoning application consistent with staff's recommendation, and for the record, they are nodding in agreement with that request. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Show zoning item 8C2, moved by Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, seconded by Commissioner Gilbert. Any discussion on the motion?
I have a
See,
question.
Commissioner Bermudez, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr.
For a
Chair.
question.
Just, this might be more of, well, not necessarily just the applicant, maybe also staff. Is there any visitor guest parking? Where do they go, the visitors? I know that there's, doesn't appear to be much parking, but the visitor guest parking, where does that go in a plan like this?
Let me grab the site plan.
Because I'm assuming they're going to get visited at some point. They have to have a guest.
I'll check the site plan and indicate for you. We're not asking for parking variance, so I do know we meet the code, so.
Okay. I guess the question then would be more of staff. Maybe they can answer that because they obviously are.
Okay. Commissioner, this applicant is providing the number of required spaces. They do have a request to provide some of those required spaces within a garage. So we have a condition there that they shall be used for parking only. But throughout this project, it's a planned area development, and they have on-street parking in some areas, like around the park. So I think that'll help with your issue related to visitors parking.
Okay.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bermudez? Sorry, 1 minute. Commissioner Cohen-Higgins?
4.
Senator Garcia? Commissioner Gilbert? Commissioner Gonzalez?
4.
Commissioner Higgins? Commissioner Regalado? Commissioner Steinberg? Commissioner Bastian?
Yes.
Vice Chairman McGee?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Show your item passed.
Thank
Congrats.
you so much.
Madam Attorney, let's take item 4A, 4A supplement, 4A supplement 2, and 4A1. Does the director need to read something into the record?
Actually, I have a small statement.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the next CDMP item, this is the 4A supplement number 1, supplement number 2, and 4A1, is this new standard application before you today for first reading, public hearing, and transmittal. I will read the resolution for transmittal as well as the ordinance title for first reading. The board can vote on the resolution and ordinance together by roll call. 4A, resolution pertaining to October 2024 cycle application number CDMP 2024-0015, filed by Blue Nest at Chrome 1 LLC, requesting amendments to the Comprehensive Development Master Plan, directing the county mayor's designee to act in accordance with the transmittal instructions included in this resolution related to application number CDMP 2024-0015, located south of Southwest 272 Street between Southwest 177/Chrome Avenue and Southwest 172 Avenue, requesting State Land Planning Agency to review application number CDMP 2024-0015, reserving the right to take final action at a later date and declaring intent to conduct one or more subsequent public hearings. This is a public hearing for a supplement number 2, and for A1, ordinance relating to Miami-Dade County Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing disposition of application number CDMP 2024-0015, located south of Southwest 272 Street between Southwest 177 Chrome Avenue and Southwest 172 Avenue, filed by Blue Nest at Chrome One LLC in the October 2024 cycle to amend the county's CDMP, providing severability, exclusion from the code, and an effective date. Again, this is a public hearing.
All right, thank you. And the director does not need to read anything additionally, right?
The zoning director will have a statement, but once we, no, I'm sorry, this is a concurrent application, Mr. Chair, but this is only at transmittal when the item comes back before the board. After it goes, assuming the board votes to transmit, there will be the concurrent zoning application.
Thank you, Abby. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open public hearing for both items. I have quite a few people registered to speak, so I'm going to give everybody a minute to do so. And I'm going to try to do this rather quickly, so let me just see something. All right, and I also have two sets of registries here. One, don't say if it's against or in favor, so I'm going to try to get a little cute here, so just play along with me. I'm going to start with Natalie Grant and Mary Waters. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 1 minute to speak.
Natalie Grant, 27201 Southwest 167th Avenue. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, and County Commissioners. I had hoped to have more time to address you today, but unfortunately, time is limited, and I can say the same for the Redland. As someone who lives and is a long lifetime resident of South Miami-Dade County, I'm at the intersection of both hope and despair. As one of the very few black farmers in the area, I recognize that this 90-acre blockbuster development can completely transform, for the negative, the area that surrounds us. The last time that I had the privilege of speaking before the County Commission, it was with regard to Lennar and JMC Groves. We were able to achieve a BOTNA where neither party was entirely satisfied, but we were able to move that forward. I'm very concerned about this proposal. I know that all of you seek excellence. This proposal is not excellent. It doesn't engage the community, and I'm very concerned at the way in which the community members have been engaged on this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Grant. Mary Waters.
Yes, Mary Waters, 13600 Southwest 229 Street. This is a project it faces to Chrome Avenue. You're talking about what the plan was for 700 townhomes in an area. Redland is not known for townhomes, but all of a sudden it is just being overwhelmed with nothing but townhomes in an area that shouldn't have townhomes. It's known for agriculture. That's why many of us all come to Southwest Dade to share in all that we have to offer. Townhomes is not what is to be offered. The density of population that's being put in these areas is overwhelming to an area that shouldn't have that kind of housing. And on top of that, these row houses don't fit the other design. You have single-family homes all around this. There are no townhomes in this area. And this would be the current zoning is 223 single-family detached homes. You're proposing to put 700 row houses.
Thank you, Ms. Waters.
I appreciate it. I would ask that you deny this application. Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm going to call up Leonard Bolivar, Joseph Robinson, and Kendrick Jones.
Good morning, Board. Anthony Bolivar, 1190 Nighthawk Court. I get that some people may not want our neighborhood to continue expanding, but the reality of the fact is that we need access to affordable homes, and no other developer is thinking about developing affordable homes. So keeping with what Blue Nest is trying to create at the price at point that they're trying to create at, it's an opportunity for families to have quality homes at an affordable price in a neighborhood where, you know, is expanding rapidly, in one of the only neighborhoods that is available to expand currently. So I support the project.
Thank you, Mr. Bolivar.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kedrick Jones. My address is 210-102 Southwest 164th Court, Homestead, Florida. I want to support it because I would like to buy a home for my kids to be able to have a home. Right now, we don't have a home, and it's an affordable home, and so I would like to buy a home. It's very hard out here right now, so that's like the thing that I'm talking about. I support it because it's going to be affordable for us to be there, and I have something to leave behind whenever something happens to me or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Joanna Robinson. My address is 21010 01. That's Southwest 143rd Court. I'm for affordable housing because, like, I'm on a fixed income, and I need some affordable housing. Things are kind of like high out there, and affordable housing not only will help me, but help my family also.
Thank you so much. So, all right, if it's amenable to the sponsor and acceptable by the applicant and those that signed up to speak, mostly, what I'm seeing on one list, the other list I have to sort of go through, but everyone checked off that they're speaking in favor of this application. So I'm going to call your name, and if you're acceptable to it, amenable to it, and you want to waive in support, we would appreciate and take that. Is that okay with you, Commissioner? All right, so Eileen Gonzalez, waiving in support. All right. Pedro Jimenez, waiving in support. Giancarlo Glee, support. Carlito Maguire, thank you. Sandra Vasquez, support. Bessie Brown, and if you do still want to speak, of course, I would afford you that opportunity, but Maria Portomene, Alfonso Yun, support. Natalie Grant, oh, you spoke already. Flamisha Sturdivant, Flamisha, support, thank you. Clara Sturdivant, Clara, thank you. Vanessa McDonald, you can approach.
Good morning, Commission. My name is Vanessa McDonough. I live at 32320 Southwest 199th Avenue. I do live out in the Redlands, and I feel like this project is an affront to our agricultural community. It does not fit in with everything that is surrounding it. Blue Nest model of the workforce housing and affordability, I have to challenge. It's lower than the normal price, yes, but is it affordable to the people who qualify for them? No, particularly when you factor in things like taxes, insurance, HOA fees, et cetera. I question if this is truly affordable housing for the people you're intending it to be for. It seems like a smoke and mirrors game. Additionally, 80% is not for the workforce housing at maximum profit for Blue Nest, and typically is going to be occupied by people who are moving from out of state, creating further congestion. The area is completely overwhelmed. We are maxed out in terms of schools, hospitals, landfills, the water supply, the post office, the DMV, the fire stations, and yet it just seems illogical to start putting more and more people at this high density that completely does not match the surrounding area. Thank you.
Thank you. And ma'am, your name?
My name is Carlita McGuire, and I live at 13451 Southwest 268th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33032.
I had called your name, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I live in Miami-Dade County for 63 years. I support this project for everyone in the community, including the seniors and the ones who have be retiring soon. This will be a great start for home ownership. We as a whole should be grateful to have the opportunity to homeowners. We have a lot of working families down south that would benefit greatly from this project. And I am a true believer that we should help each other, so I'm those not to be here. I chose to be here. We need the families-friendly housing project is now to ensure that we young adults leave a home that can purchase homes and have to live in their lives and opposed to moving to other countries. I have been working all my life and dream always of being a homeowner. Blue Nest gives us hope, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. McGuire. All right, Ken Forbes.
Good morning. I'm here to support the project, but I just want to, on the record, because it was stated that the applicant has not reached out to the community. The applicant has reached out to the community. I don't, some people choose not to be at these meetings when they're called and, to make that broad statement. I'm saying that for the benefit of both of our commissioners in the Deep South, that the applicant has made reach out to the community. They have shared with us everything that they possibly could share with us about this project. And for the meetings that I was in attendance, the people came away overwhelmingly supportive of it because, again, I see it as next generation homes.
Thank you, Mr. Forbes. And can you state your address for the record?
Address 25101 Southwest 130th Avenue.
Thank you, sir. Sir?
How are you? I just wanted to speak briefly.
Okay, if I call your name, you can speak. But again, we would appreciate you waving support, but you can speak. So I know that I called your name and you had waved in support, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I've been a resident for the past 15 plus years.
Your name and address, please, for the record.
My name is Giancarlo Garibaldi, address 13105 Southwest 248th Street. And I've seen how much my community has changed and grown, but also how much harder has it been for my community to afford living there. I want to see the opportunities for my children and the future generations to stay in a place they can call home. I'm in favor of the Blue Nest project because it helps to make possible by giving families the opportunity and affordable options without forcing them to move north or to a different state. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and again, we welcome waving in support. Patricia Rogers, waving in support. Thank you. Manuel Rodriguez. Manuel Rodriguez. Okay. La Portia Sturdivant. Support. Matthew Wason. Matthew. While he comes up, Mauricio Antonelli. Go ahead, your name and address. You have a minute.
Matthew Wason, 300 Madeira Ave. Growing up here in Miami, we've seen the rising cost of living, and it is no secret that it's getting very hard to own a home. For my family in particular, it's been very hard as we've been pushed out more west, and I've always grown up in eastern Miami, more Kendall area, and now we're being pushed out to the western areas where homes are more affordable. This project stimulates the local economy by retaining these critical workers that were brought up, such as teachers, EMR, and healthcare workers. Also, access to nearby grocers eliminate that need for driving long distances and spending excess money on gas, as grocery prices are already high enough. Additionally, neighborhood serving retail will create a self-sufficient community with small businesses and essential necessities that are close to home, and which we all need. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Name and address for the record.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Maurizio Antonelli. I live at 700 Southwest 107th Avenue. I wanted to start by saying that my parents brought me to this country when I was 5 years old. I grew up in the city. I've been here for 15 years. My family and I just have been granted naturalized citizens about 2 years ago. And last June, my family was forced to move back in my country because our rent was brought up by almost $1,000 in the span of 2 years. So I fully support this project because it would make housing in Miami more affordable and would keep families together. So I hope you will too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Gioni Tristan. Leonard Bolivar. I already called it.
Hello, my name is.
Your name and address?
Hello, my name is Tristan Gianni. My address is 7 Southwest 107 Avenue. So I'm an international student in FIU, and it's very hard for me to find a place to live that I can afford. So project like Blue Nest can help young future worker like me to be part of the community. Please support this project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Gerardo Sotolongo. Benjamin Sar. Waving support. Mario, you're coming or you're waving in support? Go ahead. State your name and address for the record.
Hello. I fully support this project. My name is Benjamin Saar. My address is 1805 Northwest 112th Street. So a few years ago, I made a bold move to Miami from New Jersey. With just $25 in my pocket, I had a dream in my heart to own a home in my 20s and change my family's life and future. I had no idea how this would happen. I found Brunes, and something in me said, let me reach out. When I reached out, they welcomed me with so much warmth and excitement. I instantly knew I was in good hands. Even though I didn't have a lot of money, they made me feel like my dream was within reach. They held my hand through every single step, explaining, supporting, encouraging. I never felt like a business transaction. I felt like family. I felt like I was with family. With their help, I was able to put down just 1%, and I was able to secure an affordable monthly payment. Only had to bring a little under $6 out of my pocket.
Thank you, sir.
I was very scared, and at first.
Thank you.
Oh.
Your minute is up.
That's it?
All right. Mario Serrato. Do you want to speak as well? All right. They're all supporting.
Sorry, what did you say? They're supporting and they still want to speak?
They're supporting. You want to say something?
Okay, cool.
Mario Serrato, 16788 Northwest 11th Street. I'm in support of this project. I'm an area manager for Loan Depot, and we help out with the loans for all these folks that are trying to get into affordable housing. With the interest rates and the prices in South Florida, it's very difficult to get into a home. Blue Nest really helps out with that. They partner up with the county and to provide these down payment assistance programs that make it affordable, even at the sales price points that they have. So I think that this project will help the community. It will probably create more jobs, and we're in full support of it.
Thank you so much, sir. Joseph Robinson? Joseph? 4. Okay, thank you very much. You're very much appreciated. Guillermo Herra? Guillermo? Guillermo has left the room. Joshua? Rosario Garcia? Rosario? Tomas Rodriguez? Derek Malone? Derek Malone? All right. Go ahead, state your name and address.
Hugh Joshua, 700 Southwest 107th Avenue. I'm in favor of this project because this project of Blue Nest Chrome can help young workers like me to stay in Miami, stay in the area where I grew up in, to stay around the people I love in my life. Without affordable housing, I will be forced to move out, and I want to stay with the people I love. So please support this project and help people like me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Tomas Rodriguez, 7364 Southwest 135th Court.
I moved to this country about 12 years ago with my family, with my grandparents. And in those 12 years, we've been forced to move around 3 to 4 times already. I am a 20-year-old college student, and I know that I'm gonna graduate with debt. And in the future, I wanna be able to afford a house. I wanna be able to be a homeowner. I don't wanna be renting my whole life. And with the high rising prices here in Miami, I feel like if we don't have a project that lets us have affordable housing, we are all gonna be either forced to move out or forced to bunch up in one home, paying thousands and having 6, 7 people live in a 4-bedroom apartment or a home. I am for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Derek Malone, 1504 Bay Road. I'm retired from city politics, so I understand the nuance and how hard decisions that you guys have, and I don't envy them, so good luck. With the change in today's world, it's rapid. The next generation sees the world differently than we do. So just please understand the influence that you have, the conversations that you have in the car and the phone. The next generation's listening. And how we handle the marginalized basically is a hallmark stamp of a civilization and a culture, and you guys are paving the way for what do we do with progress, what do we do with people wanting to be in this great state, and what do we do with those that are poorly affected. So if this is an answer, that's great. If not, what is the answer? And please be careful with your words as the next generation is listening, and depending on you to have a good heart as you lean into all these hard decisions. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Malone. Alex Duyong, waving, you're coming up. All right. Can my team order lunch for? Yes, for everyone on the dais, yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Alex Duyong. I'm here to express strong support for the Chrome by Blue Nest project. Our community is facing critical shortage of affordable ownership opportunities for our workers, our workforce, our teachers. The Chrome project offers actionable solution. Supporting Chrome project as a father, it's not about building houses. It's about expanding community. It's about offering development and solution for ownership. And ownership of home build families, strong support. And it is the best that workers, first responders, teachers, work and live where they are supported. That's why I support this project fully. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna switch it up once again and try something different. We have a lot of speakers signed up to speak in favor. So, I have another idea, but if you want to suggest something as the applicant, I'm happy to. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Pedro Gaston, following the night with officers at 701 Brickell Avenue on behalf of Blue Nest Development. What I could suggest, Mr. Chair, is that we could have everybody who's in support stand and wave, and then I can go on my presentation. And to the extent that there's anybody in opposition, we can allow them to speak.
Music to my ears, Mr. Pedro. Go ahead.
So if you're here in support of the project, please stand. This is such a great visual. I could just say this is my presentation, but I will take some time to.
Thank you very much. All right, no clapping, please. But all right, now you may all sit down. All right. Now I will ask if there is anyone else that registered to speak against, but I did not call your name and you did not speak already, and you would like to speak. This is your opportunity. So if you registered to speak against this item, but you didn't already speak. Okay, all right. Mr. Pedro, you're recognized as the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a 25-minute presentation prepared, but I'm not going to utilize it. I know it would not be entertained by this board, so I'm going to be very, very brief. I'm going to get to the heart of the issue that is here this morning. I would have at max a 12-minute presentation. I'm going to try to flow through this and fly through it because I think the representation that we've received from the residents and the community is very supportive of the application that's here this morning. Once again, Pedro Gasson of Holland & Knight with offices at 701 Brickell Avenue on behalf of Blue Nest Development. I am joined here this morning by my colleagues, Miskael Setut and Alessandra San Romain. I'm also joined by the principals of Blue Nest Development, Salim Tribe and Camille Tribe. And we are very thankful to have staff's recommendations to transmit and the PAB's recommendation to adopt this application. In sum, this application is about providing workforce housing home ownership. 20% of these units on this site will be providing units that are affordable to the workforce. And what does that mean? That means that with a $4,500 deposit and $2,600 per month, you can own a home. That is cheaper than being able to get into a rental apartment in this community at an average rent of $2,800, because you would have to put in $8,400 to be able to have a down payment on that property. And so I'm going to flow through all of this. I know this commission already knows a lot of these issues. I hope they bring up the presentation. But I know this commission knows a lot of these issues. You know that we're the epicenter of the housing crisis. We have to do more to address the unaffordability issues that we've been facing. We are facing a critical shortage. We have a very low inventory. And as a result, we have essentially home ownership pricing that is priced today at approximately $665,000. Because of the pricing of housing and single-family homes, the rental prices have gone up. Between the span of 2017 and 2022, the average rent has gone up by $6,000. So if you have been in your home since 2017 in the same apartment in 2022, you were paying $6,000 more. And this application helps to address that issue. As a result, we have 30% of our residents who are having 30% of their incomes or more that they're spending just on housing. And we have a critical shortage of about 90,000 units that are affordable to the workforce. As a result, since 2014 and after, we've had more than 40,000 residents moving out of the county because they can't find anything that's affordable. And as this county has analyzed, we're going to have a residential land depletion by 2027 where we will have no more single-family homes available. So that will only exacerbate the affordability issues that we're facing. And the county has recognized that we need to accelerate development, and you all know that we have a limited land supply. And so what we're seeking to do with respect to this application is to provide for the missing middle, which is the townhomes as part of this application, to address this need within the county. Because as we have seen between 2017 and 2024, there has been a drop in 79.6% of the housing that is priced at less than $500,000. So today what we're seeking to do is to provide for workforce housing units that are priced at a maximum of $451,000 when the average home price is at $665,000. And I wanted to specifically break this down for you and what that looks like. So what we've done is we've taken a Blue Nest workforce housing home, a conventional home, and a rental apartment. And what you can see is with the Blue Nest home, you can get in with a down payment of $4,500, and then with a monthly payment of $2,600, which includes principals, taxes, and insurance, you can own a home. If you compare that just with the rental, you're paying $8,400 just to get into your rental apartment with no equity, with no home ownership. And if you compare that over time, if you were to be in an apartment for 30 years, you'd be spending approximately $280,000 more than you would be spending on a Blue Nest home. This is the site. It's located at the southeast corner of Chrome and Southwest 272nd Street. As we have noted, we are making a commitment for 20% of our units as workforce housing. At the northwest corner, we are providing for a commercial facility to provide for the neighborhood retail serving goods. This helps to address our #1 goal of the comprehensive plan, which is to provide the best possible distribution of land use and services to meet the physical, social, and economic needs of the present and future populations. This is the conceptual master plan that we have. And as you can see, we have a commercial designation at the northwest corner, we have estate designations on the perimeter, and then we have townhomes on the interior of the site. It is anticipated that the 20% of the units will be the townhomes that are on the property, and then the estate units will be on the perimeter, and then, of course, the commercial facility. This site is designated a low-access area by the USDA, which essentially means that historically it would have been recognized as a food desert because there essentially is not any grocery stores in close proximity to the site. You have to travel three miles just to get to your nearest one. And so by providing for the commercial facility in close proximity, we provide for neighborhood serving retail. In addition, as we're providing for the perimeter of the site, we're providing for estate density uses. These are the types of home that we're going to be developing on the property. We're going to provide estate homes on the perimeter so that when you're driving around this property, all you see are estate housing while still being able to address the needs of this community. Now, with respect to the housing types, the county specifically states that residential communities having a variety of housing types, such as standard single-family detached homes, townhouse, other single-family attached homes, and multifamily units are encouraged by this plan. All new residential developments should include housing types which will contribute to the diversity of housing types in the immediate area. And in all instances, residential developments exceeding 40 acres in size shall contain more than one of the foregoing housing types. Because this is more than 40 acres, because it is 90 acres, we are obligated by this county's comprehensive plan to have more than just estate single-family homes. We have to provide townhomes pursuant to this county's comprehensive plan. And so these are the plans that we're seeking to develop on the site. These are the townhomes. These townhomes are evincing the type of aesthetics and architectural expressions that are within the immediate area while addressing the need for workforce housing. We are making the commitment to designate this site for 20% for workforce housing with a maximum of 700 units. And all importantly, we're making the commitment to connect to water and sewer because we all know the implications and this board's commitment of converting from septic to sewer, which is extraordinarily important. And as you all know, I don't need to lecture this board. You all know the importance of being able to convert from septic to sewer. This development will be able to provide for the sanitary sewer infrastructure on the site. We'll be investing a substantial amount of dollars to ensure that the implications of sea level rise will not impact this property as part of the redevelopment. And really quickly, as part of this redevelopment of this property, we'll be providing 62 times the amount collected in the current fiscal year. So you're going to receive tax benefits, you're going to receive impact fees benefits of over $12.2 million, and you're going to receive workforce housing and mixed-use neighborhood serving retail. So with that, I would like to close my time. I thank you for your opportunity to speak before you. I wanted to make it very brief, understanding how constrained this board is with time. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak before you.
Thank you, sir, and let it record reflect the public hearing is now closed. Commissioner from District 8, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to first say thank you to the applicant because based on the number of people that have shown up in support and the few that showed up in opposition, it's clear to me that you spent time in the community speaking about this project. You received a favorable approval from our planning advisory board. But in addition to taking the time to meet and speak with the community, you spoke with a vast array, a very diverse representative sample of our community, because that's what I saw stand before us today. I saw young people in college. I see our senior population. I see all different races and ethnicities here because our housing crisis is affecting everyone in our community. So I appreciate the diversity of people that you spoke to, and to all of the residents who came, took the time to speak, and who chose to wave in support and or are in opposition. I appreciate you all coming down here. I know it's not easy to take time off of work and get down here and spend time with us, but we appreciate you being here. What I heard from those who spoke were people saying we need affordable housing for sale, which is something that I have been trying to accomplish for my entirety as a commissioner here in Miami-Dade County. Oftentimes we see applications come before us that are workforce or affordable, and 99% of the time they are for rent. The American dream is only achievable in this country, for most, with the opportunity to purchase a home, build equity in that home, and hopefully pass that home on to the next generation. At over $600,000, that opportunity is closed for so many in our community. So I want to speak to the affordability of this project because I think you mentioned over 700 units. Is that what you represented?
That is correct. There are 700 units planned for the site.
Okay, and before actually I go to the affordability, I appreciate the actual site plan and visual that you presented to us, because it means you also did your homework, because I often ask developers that are developing in the South to build to the aesthetic that is unique and special in the South, which is a farm style, and that's clearly represented here, so I also thank you for that. But regarding the affordability, you said time and time again that 20% is at the workforce rate, which is what's 20% of the 700 units?
20% of the 700, 140.
Okay, which is great. We'll take the 140. We appreciate that. But I'm wondering if you can do more, because 700 units is a lot, 90 acres is a lot. I think this is going to have a positive impact on our community. I also have a letter here from our United Teachers of Dade, dated April 28th, 2025, fully supporting this project and speaking to the number of teachers that have to leave our county and move to Broward in order to teach our children here in Miami-Dade County because they cannot afford a place to live. So I'll have this UTD letter in support added to the record. But I am going to implore you, because it's the need of this community, to add more units other than the 20%, which I appreciate. But I would like to see a greater percentage included in this particular project towards the workforce commitment, which would keep, I believe it's at 341. That is a price point that is going to be attractive to so many in our community. I'm sure everybody that is here and came to speak. So I would like for you to consider a greater percentage being dedicated to the workforce commitment.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I have some time to speak to my client?
Absolutely.
In the meantime, is any other commissioner wanting to speak on this item, just so I can have a, so you have a, okay, so we have a few. Okay, but Pedro has an answer. So there's a few.
Absolutely. So, Commissioner, I've talked to my clients, and what they're willing to do is they're willing to cap all of the townhomes at the workforce housing sales price, while keeping 20% of them at the workforce housing income restriction. And their perspective is that they want to have the velocity of being able to move them, but while also ensuring that more people have access to the home ownership opportunities.
That's tremendous. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Pedro. I would stay up just in case some of the questions are directed at you. Commissioner, well, and do you move the item with?
Yeah, the only reason I didn't move the item is because I know that I saw a number of my colleagues' hands go up, but I'm fully supportive of this project. I can't tell you, it's a big deal. We talk about our housing crisis all the time, and I feel strongly that this is exactly the type of product that our community needs. So with that, I do move this application consistent with staff's recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's been moved by Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, seconded by Commissioner Gilbert. And now, Commissioner Bermudez, are you wanting to speak? No? Okay, Commissioner Bastian, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just wanted to congratulate you for doing such a wonderful job, and then congratulate all the residents who showed up to speak up. That is extremely important. I did have a question about affordability. You did answer it. You did make a great presentation, but I just wanted to commend you for engaging the community, because this is so important. You know, development is for the people when the people partake in it and then buy into it. And I also want to thank you for also implementing the legislation that I sponsored, the missing middle. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And then, Commissioner, thank you for doing such a great job to bring affordability to your district.
Commissioner Regalado, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you. I just had a few questions about the infrastructure investment. First and foremost, I know we talk about affordability, and obviously this is at the center of that. But I also think it's important for us to mention infrastructure as community benefit. And we've talked about this a lot. This is an area that does not have access to water and sewer, and does not have the development required to gain access to water and sewer. So whether we talk about road impact fees and how they're generated through development in large part, or water and sewer, which happens the same way, I just wanted to ask a little bit about the basin and the pump station. So I saw on here some information about the connectivity of the units that you're building, but how are you just doing a a pump station for yourself, or are you doing a regional pump station? Are we upsizing it? Because if you remember, I brought an item. So you'll remember a few years ago, we talked about no more private pump stations. This is a waste of time and money. Maintaining them is very complicated. So we no longer have private pump stations in these developments, but there is the possibility of turning them into sub-regional stations. And that would allow us to go beyond the footprint of what they need and actually meet the needs of the basin. So my question is as to the capacity. Is the capacity that you're proffering here, because it's not clear, for your development alone, or is it big enough to cover the basin?
So my understanding, and I would have somebody more technically inclined as to the ability of the capacity, but since we're going to be providing for a public pump station, I believe it's going to be sufficient to accommodate the basin, because as you've noted, Commissioner, we're not allowed to do private pump stations anymore. Right. And so it's going to be sufficient to accommodate the basin as a whole, so that if anybody else is coming in with developments, they can connect to it.
Perfect. And I think that's important, because when we talk about eliminating these septic tanks and eliminating the need for the septic tanks, we need to also educate the neighbors in the area that this is a community benefit, right? This is a huge community benefit. The septic tanks that we require right now are very expensive, and it's important for us to constantly be educating folks on that this is a community benefit. My last question is regarding stormwater. So obviously, you have a stormwater management plan. Can you speak a little bit on the stormwater management plan?
Absolutely, Commissioner. So we've engaged in detailed analysis and dialogue with Durham regarding the conceptual stormwater master plan. We've engaged in analysis that takes into account historical flows. There have been issues, and there has been analysis because the area had a pre-existing planned canal going through it. So there was particular concern about ensuring that our drainage capacity would be able to accommodate that. And so our current plan has taken that into account. And what we've done with Durham is that we're going to get into more of the details as we go through the permitting process, but that's been taken into account, and we've had those conversations, and we've analyzed the historical flows to ensure that our development won't have an adverse impact on our neighbors.
Yeah, good. The only thing, and I did see the canal, the only thing that I would mention to that, and to the commissioner of the district, if she wants to include this in the plan, is, when we talk to Durham, we talk a lot about, canals and retention, but I think we also need to add the landscaping piece and talk about green infrastructure. We need to plant trees that do this work, not just canals, and drains. So, it's very pretty, again, like the palm trees, everybody loves that look. But there's a lot of trees that do this work. And again, that's to the benefit of the entire neighborhood, because the runoff is what the runoff is, especially if you have a canal. But when you have an oversaturation, it gets complicated for everyone. So I would just, if there could be a friendly amendment in terms of the landscaping, to try, when possible, to use green infrastructure and trees that provide for stormwater mitigation. There is a list that Durham has for that, everything from gumbo limbo to others they're beautiful trees. They're fast growing. They provide shade. They provide a wonderful canopy, but they're also easy to maintain, and they drain a lot of this water. So that would be my only recommendation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the applicant okay with that? It might already be in there.
We are acceptable.
Okay, Commissioner? Yeah, the applicant's okay with the...
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. It's an excellent recommendation. I mean, it should be across all of our applications that are of this size or sort. So, yeah, I absolutely accept it. I think it's an excellent recommendation, and thank you to the applicant for accepting it.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And, first of all, I'd just like to congratulate Commissioner Cohen-Higgins for working on this project, right? Because, I saw a lot of folks come up here. Can I see one more time the folks that are in favor of this stand up? She needs a picture. That's amazing. And so specifically, you guys can sit down, but specifically, I see a row of bros towards the end. And I identify with you guys because when I first graduated from law school, right, I was broke. I was really broke. I had a baby. I had a new wife, and I was so broke. I couldn't afford to buy a home, right? And then there was a project in Commissioner Cohen-Higgins' district out in the Silver Palms area, and I bought a small little townhome, and it was just incredible to me, man. And I spent so many great Christmases there, and it really got me into the American dream. It got me started, right? And so, respectfully, you're not always going to have me, because I feel like when you conduct projects like this, it needs to be responsible, right? You can't put 700 single-family homes in my district because of the traffic, right? But when you plan it out, and you plan out the live, work, play aspect of it. And then I saw the presentation that you did, sir. You're always very on point. But in that presentation, you mentioned the commercial facility, which I think is great. I also see that this is in between not only Homestead Air Force Base, but also Miami Executive Airport. And with, certain things that are happening in the space industry, I think it's going to be prime for live, work, play. So I want to commend Commissioner Cohen-Higgins for doing this, and I'm in full support.
Thank you.
Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate Commissioner Regalalo's questions on infrastructure, because that's one of the issues that I was having. When it comes to the roads in that area, how are the roads? What's the infrastructure in place to come in and out of that community? Because I understand that the surrounding neighborhoods are estate homes, and I appreciate the fact that you on the border did the estate homes. But regardless, on the interior, it's massive density, or much density. I don't want to say massive, a lot of density. Let me say that. What are the plans to support that all those families moving in and out of that neighborhood?
So what we've seen from the traffic study that we've done, Senator, has been that there isn't going to be any adverse impacts on the roads. We believe that the infrastructure that we're developing on the site will be more than enough to accommodate the area. We have 272nd on the north, we have Chrome on the west that will be able to sufficiently accommodate our site. And at least from the analysis that we've done from the expert traffic study that's been analyzed, we haven't seen any adverse impact that's being created by our traffic, because of the fact that we're going to have a variety of long road segments. And so because we're going to have those long road segments, we're not going to anticipate any adverse impacts to the adjacent neighbors, and we think it's going to be something that's going to be consistent with the area.
So the in and out is not going to go through the estate neighborhoods, or
No.
Those
So
roads, are those roads going to be connected at all at that point, or are they going to be connected just along the western fringe and the northern fringe of the property?
So I think that that's an excellent question, Senator. One of the things that exists in this area is that there's an existing planned and dedicated canal near our site. As a matter of fact, on the eastern and southern portion of our property are dedicated and planned canals. And so it'd be difficult for us to be able to have those roads going through there. What we have is roads coming from 272nd and Chrome to be able to access the majority of our site, with some roads coming in internally, but the majority of our site will not be coming in from the east, which is where the neighbors are, because we have both access from 272nd and Chrome.
I asked those questions because in Hialeah, you had a development that went in on the east side, I guess, or the west side of the city. And the biggest problem that they had, because it was this type of housing, was the coming in. There was one road coming in and out, two roads coming in and out maybe. And that in itself, while the project was a beautiful project, that was a battle that we had to fight with the town of Miami Lakes and Hialeah and the county commission at the time to create a bridge, to open up a bridge for the east and west. That Commissioner Bermudez helped with that as well. So that's why I asked the questions of the impact to the roads, because it may be a great one, but then those residents that might be might have some difficulties. But I'm glad to see that. Look, at the end of the day, how is that land being actively farmed right now?
So I believe it's been actively farmed. Senator, I can't say as to whether today it's being actively farmed. I know that the property is being sold because they're no longer interested in farming that site. Some of that site is residential, is used as residential, but there are aspects of the site today that has been farmed.
Well, Commissioner, I appreciate all the work that's been done on this, and I appreciate the need for housing. But I think maybe the density may be a little too much for that, but I'll go ahead and listen to everyone else, and I'm just not going to stand in the way of this. But.
Thank you, Senator.
Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, let me just say this, and Senator Garcia, the issue you brought up about the impact of traffic, especially off Chrome Avenue. Please. Thank you. The impact on traffic, especially on Chrome Avenue, in that particular area, in that particular corner, is of major concern to me because I have friends and family members who use that particular area to get back and forth to US 1, then cross over to US 1 to get to the express, to the turnpike. However, listening to the conversations of today and based on the statements from the applicant who indicates that their traffic study has shown no adverse impact, I have no other choice but to take them at their word and also support the district commissioner in her attempt as relates to this particular project. I just want people to understand that, yes, it's great to provide housing to this community, and it's definitely needed, especially those ones are classified workforce and or affordable. But again, the question of traffic is a real serious problem. Right now on Chrome Avenue, especially in that area of 272, and if we go south to about 312, that traffic is horrendous between the hours of 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Due to the increase of density in that area. So I would say just make sure that you do whatever you can to ensure that the adverse impact doesn't exist, as you just stated on the record. So thank you so much, and I'll be supporting this.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Listen, I would just add that, development is coming, right? This is something that we are expecting. We know that it's coming. And this application, this project is within the UDB line.
That is correct, Chair.
So it's not outside of it, and that's huge. I know we have some other applications, but this one is inside of the UDB line. I thank you because a few things. One is our staff is not a common theme for them to recommend projects like this, no offense. And the fact that they are recommending this project just speaks volume to the work that you all have put into it. You could have been presenting an application going vertical, and you decided to follow the theme of the neighborhood. So I thank you, commend the commissioner for that. And I love that farm style, home look on the exterior, that when the surrounding neighbors drive by, they're going to see similar estate homes to their own that are already in that neighborhood. And the townhomes are only on the interior of the project. So with that, Commissioner Hardiman, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Just as a frame of reference for the commission, when we think about traffic, this traffic is being born because people are traveling from deep down south into the core of Miami-Dade County, right, into the core of our downtown areas. And predominantly people do that because that's where the jobs are. So people are traveling from one place to get to another, from affordability to our city centers, in order to ensure that they have access to well-paying jobs. And so, Miami-Dade County has this issue with affordable housing, and there's more than one way to go on to crack that nut. In our districts, such as Commissioner Higgins and mine, and primarily those are the two districts where we have a great deal of high rises, where we're building thousands of units at a time. I mean, just not too long ago, this board approved up to 5,000 housing units on between Northwest 71st and 79th Street, which would be like our Little Haiti sort of area in Miami-Dade County. It's greatly needed because the housing stock there is in lack of repair, and we have great need for additional housing, and we have the land to sort of create that housing, and so we're doing that. And depending on where those people are working, they will increase traffic because more bodies, more cars is more traffic. Even though we're building a sort of what do we call it? A train stop there to add to the affordability of traveling to and fro, and also to remove cars from the road. And I say that to this body because we are the policymakers here. And so, the further we go out, the less density we sort of create. And so we're not building really many city centers out down south, or they've done it west, because I think that's what Doral has done and things of that nature. And I think one of the things that we really have to start to question about ourselves is, are we trying to create areas in the South, for instance, where people are self-contained, where people choose to stay in the South because there are jobs there. People choose to stay in the South because there's entertainment there. They have great restaurants. Some of them are already there. But are we creating these sort of locations where people would choose not to travel the hour and a half that's going to contribute to their daily sort of commute, and they stay within the place where they are? You know, like for me, when I graduated from school and came back down to South Florida, I lived in a place where I could walk to and from the courthouse. I mean, it did a tremendous amount for my well-being, for the money that I saved, and it made sense, right? And at that time, so you're talking 2008, we were still just now getting to the affordable. Well, the bubble was bursting, things were still a little affordable, and then over that time, things have changed. So in the time that I was there renting at this apartment, for instance, my rent went from $950 to $1,400 over a few years. So change did happen, and in order for me to continue as a public defender, of course, you need more money. So I had to leave that. But nevertheless, my point in all of this is to say that many times we hold on to what communities look like and what they feel like, but I don't know, and I'm sure that our administration thinks of it from time to time, but certainly it's up to the policymakers to accept this or to at least think through it. You know, are we saying that areas that are in the South will always be sort of this low-rise sort of community, which has less density than the areas that are closer to our city medium, like our core? Because when you think about the distance that we travel, just right here, the number of units that we're considering redeveloping this space. You look just in Overtown, there's certain places that, you know, you're very, very tall building because we're near the TOD. I mean, you have all these areas that are really specific to that. And then just a walk away, you'll find single family homes and things of that nature. And so, you know, the affordability, access, we should be doing it here in our city cores, but we should also be doing it, you know, down south and maybe provide some other options. I'm not saying that that's law. I'm saying that, you know, it would be good for us to continue to have the discussion. This is a wonderful project. We appreciate you presenting it in the form that you have. Clearly, you've added different types of housing, which I think is important because that adds to the affordability of things. People need options. I've seen projects come before us and they have one type of housing, and it is well below what you could allow to build. And so it's good for making money, but it's not necessarily good for a community. And so we appreciate that you brought us a product that is good for the community. My comments are not necessarily specific to your project. My comments are just generally thinking, like, how are we going to make sure that these places are places that we choose to enjoy? Or are we going to have to allow Mr. McGee to have to drive from Homestead all the way to the city core in order for him to have a good time, right? We know that he's trying to bring entertainment, for instance, to his district, but the distance that you have to travel to get to where he is a very far distance. And so people decide, I'm not going there. And anytime someone decides, I'm not going to your community, I think the community loses out. You lose out on revenue, you lose out on affordability, you lose out on people making a choice to decide to stay in the place that raised them. And so, you know, I would love to see people choose to be, as they've done in the past, to be in the place that they are, but then also in the future say, you know, there's a future in this area and it looks like this. And so, you know, hopefully one day we'll have that more robust discussion on this dais, because I think we need it. We can't allow certain areas to be the epicenters of Miami-Dade County. And I speak from a district that has a great deal of wonderful assets, but we also have a great deal of struggling territory. And so I appreciate your time, and I appreciate my colleagues for listening to me. Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. And you know, Commissioner Hardiman, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You are always thinking in an innovative way, my friend. And I actually have something I've been working on. I would love to have a sunshine meeting with you, because I have said this since I got here. We need live, work, play all throughout Miami-Dade County. As a matter of fact, Hawaii used to have the same issue, where everybody used to live on one side of the island, and then everybody used to work on the other side of the island, and everybody was in traffic at the same time every day, going this way and then going that way. It reminds me of a place that I live in, right? And so what Hawaii did is, and before everybody gets crazy, and I would love to have a sunshine meeting with you because it's about doing it responsibly, like I think this project is doing. But what they did is they built a second type of downtown, workforce type of downtown on the other side of the island, and it created what major metropolitan areas do: live, work, play. Which, by the way, you are never going to get public transportation to work unless you have connectivity, which is exactly what you're talking about. What I love about Eileen Higgins' district and your district and Coral Gables, for example, is that I can walk places. I could take a trolley places, right? Because it's a short distance. And I would love to have a sunshine meeting with you, sir, and just explain to you certain work opportunities and job opportunities, right? Technical jobs paying $90,000 to $200,000 a year, where folks can live in that area, play in that area, and work in that area. And I think that's going to solve a lot of the issues we have in Miami-Dade County, and it's a shame that it's never been done before.
Commissioner Bermudez, you're recognized.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for the presentation and thank everyone for being here. And I will be supportive of the item. But going to Commissioner Hardiman's point and what Commissioner Gonzalez reiterated, I can tell you, in particular in Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, Commissioner McGee's district, one of the issues, and we do have to talk about it, when I first left office after the founding of the city of Doral, and one of the things we did in Doral was create a live, work, and play scenario with a downtown overlay district so people wouldn't have to drive all the way. In order for that to work, you have to have Class A office space. You have to do certain things that, you know, we're not seeing right now. I'm going to tell you this, and I don't want anybody to get offended, but when I was out of office, I volunteered at the request of some of the mayors down south, namely Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, Color Bay, to serve on the entity that serves South Dade, which we fund, by the way. And I think Peter England runs it now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But anyways, the Burger King building that was built there is a large building with a lot of opportunities for attracting entities such as insurance companies, et cetera. But the community has to buy into also making changes to allow some of these larger employers to come into the area. One of the problems I've seen, in particular down south, and that was experienced as my volunteer time as a lawyer in that area, was nobody wants. When you were talking about trying to get a national company to come and fill, I still call it the Burger King building. Some of you may not remember, but it's the Burger King building, the big building that's off Old Cutler. And people would complain because they'd say, well, we don't want that many people working here. Well, if you don't want to have to go downtown or go east, then you have to create the work centers. And they can't all be strip shopping centers with ice cream shops, et cetera. They actually have to be a place. If Commissioner Gonzalez, you know, or same thing is happening east. Obviously, it happens east. The reason why people come east is because you've got good paying jobs. We know, and I think that's going to be, just a reminder, Economic Development Council of South Miami-Dade. That's what it was. So you know, we have to have that frank conversation, but that frank conversation has to, with the development community and with all of us, focus on the fact that the South also has to become a center for good jobs, not just for other jobs. So I'm more than happy to do that because I've been arguing about this for years, that if you really want to create that, if you're going to be able to do something where people have good paying jobs and don't all have to go east, then you've got to include the component of, through zoning, through incentives, create the possibility for companies to move also down south. And if you don't do that, then it's just, you're not going to be able to eliminate that, and they're all going to be coming east. And there is no way, probably in most of our lifetimes, that we're going to solve, you know, even with rapid transit. We're still not going to provide that answer to the people down south. So, because that's just the reality. So I hope You know, and I haven't had a chance. As a matter of fact, now you've spurred my thought process. I am going to go visit my friends at the Economic Development Council of South Miami-Dade. And I can tell you, going back to those municipalities, and obviously they had different mayors at the time, different elected officials, everybody agreed, but nobody wanted to talk about creating jobs, because every time they said, we want to attract a large company that employs 100 people here or there, not in my backyard. Because their perception is that work brings more traffic than residents, which may not necessarily be true, but that's the perception. So I empathize and I sympathize with my colleagues. I commend, the three of you for doing a great job trying to deal with this issue, but I just would remind you that you must include the component of trying to create the scenario where there are businesses that actually bring good paying jobs. And that's no denigration to the other jobs that it could bring in restaurants, et cetera. But unless you do that, you're going to continue to have people have to come east for their jobs. And it's I commend Commissioner Hardiman. That's a discussion that's a frank discussion we need to have with staff.
District 8 Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to my colleagues for this thoughtful conversation that we've had regarding essentially this development policies that we're going to pursue in the county. And I couldn't agree more. The South needs a live, work, play epicenter. And I'm happy to share, and I think this will be a reminder to hopefully a number of my colleagues. The town of Cutler Bay is spearheading this effort. They are redeveloping the Southland Mall to become the South Place City Center. It's 80 acres. It will be live, work, play. It will be residential. It will be commercial. It will be retail. It will be Class A office space. And so what you have been able to accomplish, Commissioner, in your district in Doral is exactly what we are trying to accomplish in the South. And there was a ribbon cutting and a groundbreaking on March 28th, just a couple of weeks ago. So I'll continue to keep you informed, and if there's a sunshine meeting, I'm happy to attend. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
And thank you for supporting that, Commissioner. Commissioner Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I just want all my colleagues to know I missed you all also. I can tell it's been a long time between meetings because we just pontificating. We are talking about a lot of stuff right now. While I appreciate the sentiments of all my colleagues when we're essentially in our land use, our quasi-judicial functions, it's probably best if we just keep the record evidence on this item. And so this is a great item. I'm supporting it. I would love to vote for it, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Higgins, you're recognized.
So I'll be very quick because I can see my colleague to the right of me was ready to vote, as am I. It's a great project. But just to add to this discussion, I've tried to reframe in my district, not just live, work, play, but live, work, play, and learn. Because what's been happening is we've been adding housing and we've been making it more transit oriented and, making it a living place. The minute you grow up and have kids, if there's no school within walking distance that you can't walk your child to. So the county obviously is playing a very important role in that. We should be opening a new school in a joint project with affordable housing right near the Brickell train station. So I've started to frame that as live, work, play, and learn. Otherwise, mom and dad get a car and drive their kid to school. So thank you.
Clerk, please call a roll.
Great project.
Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Cohen. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Can we just clarify the motion just with the additional conditions?
Sure, Abby, at your own risk.
So this motion is on items 4A and 4A1 together per staff's recommendation with the following additional conditions. 1, to cap all townhomes at the workforce housing sales price, and in addition to also keep 20% at workforce housing income limits. And 2, that a pump station be provided by the applicant to accommodate the basin as a whole. And 3, to use landscaping and trees that can provide benefits and utility as to stormwater management and stormwater runoff.
All right.
That is my motion. Thank you.
And it's been seconded by Commissioner Gilbert, and I want to just recognize and thank Commissioner Steinberg today. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Cohen Higgins.
4.
Senator Garcia. Commissioner Gilbert. Commissioner Gonzalez.
4.
Commissioner Hardiman. Commissioner Higgins. Commissioner Regalado. Commissioner Steinberg.
Commissioner Bastión,
Yes.
Commissioner Bermudez,
Yes.
Vice Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, District Commissioner. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Vice Chair, and members of
All
the
right,
Commission.
please exit. No, no clapping. No clapping. I know you're all excited for all these homes, and please exit quietly, and congratulations. Quietly means you speak when you get outside. Oscar, really? Outside. Pedro, I will reconsider this item. Yeah. Guys, please exit quietly. All of Blue Nest, please exit quietly. All right, Mr. Attorney, Madam Attorney, let's take item 7A, 7A supplement, and if the director needs to read anything into the record, now's a good time.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This final set of CDMP items are standard applications before you for public hearing and final adoption. And for each, I'll read the ordinance title. Please note that item 7B has a concurrent zoning application associated with it, which is item 8C1. Again, a single public hearing will be held and incorporated into the record as to both the CDMP and zoning items, and this hearing will be conducted in accordance with quasi-judicial principles. Item 7A is an ordinance relating to Miami-Dade County Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing disposition of application number CDMP 2023-0008, generally located south of Theoretical Southwest 400 Street, between Theoretical Southwest 217 Avenue and Theoretical Southwest 227 Avenue. Filed by EIP for Florida Round Hammock Land Company, LLC, in the May 2023 cycle to amend the county's comprehensive development master plan, providing severability, exclusion from the code, and an effective date.
Thank you. All right, so I will go ahead and open up public hearing for these items, and I will start with the public first. I got Vanessa McDonald, Mary Waters, and Laura Reynolds. You may come up. Ms. Reynolds, Mary Waters, now would be the time where you speak. And Vanessa McDonald. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 1 minute to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. Laura Reynolds, 6820 Southwest 64th Court, South Miami, representing the Hold the Line Coalition, and I did give a copy of our letter to the clerk. You guys should have received that. We thank the applicant for removing the text amendments from this application. They would have affected the whole area, so that was a plus. We also thank the applicant for bringing forward an application that is affordable housing in the right place. I think it can be improved, however. The application could have less surface parking. So if you look at our letter, it's on page 3, you'll see the surface parking, the footprint of this application.
Mr. Chair?
You could have more, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to clarify that the item that we read for was 7A, which is the mitigation bank.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Laura, come
I'm
on.
sorry, can we go back?
No, you just spoke your minute. You can finish it, though. We'll keep it in mind for the other one, but go ahead and finish it off. I'll give you your last 15 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, I had them wrong. No, it's really important that I get that information on the record. Can I?
It'll be on the record. Yeah, put it up. Mary Waters, is it on 7A that you're speaking on, or? Yep, okay. Go ahead, state your name and address, and you have a minute.
Mary Waters, 13600 Southwest 229 Street. I don't know if all I keep hearing are more and more acres of agricultural land being used for things that weren't intended. In this particular case, you're trying to take 239 acres out of ag use, which once this possible passing of this application is approved, it will never revert back to agriculture. It will be forever be used as credits. Are you doing that for my sake? Okay. I would ask that you really truly consider this as it is right now. We have over 1,000 acres of mitigated acreage that is to be used for credits. How many acres do we really have to continue taking? I would have to say there's one 800 acres, this one's 240. There's another one that, as I say, is well over that number. You've got restrictions on this. It's right next to Everglades National Park. You've got BBC, or you've got...
Thank you, Ms. Waters. So you wanted to speak on both items?
Yeah, Chairman, would you mind if I just readdress?
Yes, but you wanted to speak on both, right? You're signed up for both?
Yes.
Okay, so you do have a minute for this one, then go ahead. Just your other one, you've already spoken for, but I'll give you a minute for this item.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Just to put my name on the record again, Laura Reynolds, 6820 Southwest 64th Court, Hold the Line Coalition. And again, mitigation banks should be the last resort. Obviously, what we want to do and what is in our CDMP is protect wetlands to begin with. But now and again, credits are needed. So we don't not support the mitigation bank, but it is clearly very close to 2 Everglades restoration projects. It's very important, and what we would like to see is language in the covenant that if the hydrology in the area changes because of Everglades restoration, that this bank will adjust its hydrology accordingly and work with the benefits of Everglades restoration. That is the only problem that I see here, other than protecting the natural forest community, which Durham has already pointed out. Otherwise, fully supportive, but want to make sure that the farmers in the area aren't flooded or vice versa. I personally think it will be a sink for the farmers in the area, and water will retain on this area. So
Thank you.
all in all, a good project, but we need to
Thank you.
be careful of Everglades restoration. Thank
All
you.
right, those are all the public speakers I have signed up to speak. As the applicant, all right, Mr. Arza, name and address, how much time are you gonna need?
Good morning once again, Hugo Arza, 701 Brickell Avenue. I've got a brief presentation. We do enjoy staff's recommendation, but I will run through it briefly if it's the wish of the commissioner for the district. I don't need more than 6 minutes.
All right, Commissioner from District 9, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you get into your presentation, staff, you made a recommendation to adopt with acceptance of the proffer declaration restrictions. You also preferenced that by asking throughout the memo, or saying throughout the memo that you had some concerns or questions. Can you put those on the record at this particular moment, please, before the applicant gives his presentation?
We had Commissioner Jerry Bell, Assistant Planning Director. So we did have questions at the transmittal stage, which was, I think this was heard in January 2024. The questions regarded how the mitigation bank will be managed, impacts to agricultural lands, and impacts to environmentally sensitive natural resources, as well as, what would need to be done to make the mitigation bank compatible with the, adjacent and proximate agricultural lands. So we have worked with the applicants through the process. They have addressed the questions. So at this point, we are making the recommendation to adopt with the accepted declaration of restrictions.
Thank you so much. Any other concerns or?
I don't have any. Our declaration contains our commitments, and thank you for staff for working through their issues. And to Ms. Reynolds, we're working with the Water Management District to manage a SERP, and they have to issue permits for this. And so we're confident that whatever we do here will be in line with the Everglades restoration.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I move this item consistent with the staff recommendation, which is to adopt the acceptance of the proffer declaration and restrictions.
All right. So the item moved, seconded by Commissioner Gilbert. Commissioner from District 3. Oh, you had raised your hand earlier.
It was to allow, I've never seen a speaker so distressed that they lost their 1 minute. So it was to allow her to finish her speaking. Thank you.
All right, no further speakers on the dais. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Garcia. Commissioner Gilbert. Commissioner Gonzalez.
4.
Commissioner Hardeman. Commissioner Higgins? Commissioner Regalado? Commissioner Steinberg? Commissioner Bastion? Commissioner Bermudez? Commissioner Cohen-Higgins?
4.
Vice Chairman McGee?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, Madam Attorney, let's take item 7B, 7B supplement with its companion item 8C1. Does the director need to read a statement?
The zoning director has read the statement. I'll read the ordinance title for the CDMP item, and then the director can read the zoning item.
Go ahead.
Item 7B is an ordinance relating to Miami-Dade County Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing disposition of application number CDMP 2023-0010, located east of 147 Avenue between Southwest 258th Street and Southwest 260th Street, filed by Infinity Gardens Apartments LLC in the May 2023 cycle to amend the county's Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing severability, exclusion from the code, and an effective date.
The zoning application is 8C1 Infinity Gardens Apartments, application number Z20230000187. We've had no protests and no waivers of support for this application.
Thank you, Director. I'll go ahead and open public hearing first. Start with the public. I've got just Laura Reynolds. You spoke on this item. Thank you very much. That's it. So I will close public hearing and ask the applicant. Is the applicant here? Oh, wow, it's you again.
It is Pedro Gasano following the night with officers at 701 Brickell Avenue. I'm joined this morning by my colleagues Alessandra San Romain and Mishkaya Satut on behalf of Infinity Gardens. We did a robust presentation the last time when this item was transmitted. This is one of the few parcels that is bifurcated by the urban development boundary line. It's within half a mile of the smart transit corridor and within 0.54 miles of the bus rapid transit station off of Southwest 264th Street. I do have a 10-minute presentation prepared. I'm not going to indulge in that. I would leave it to the discretion of the district commissioner. If she wants to hear it, I would be happy to present it. But I think given the nature of our application, what we've done and what we've already presented, we would be happy to rely upon that.
Commissioner from District A, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the applicant. I am supportive of this application. If this board recalls, we had a similar application before the board in my district that was similarly situated, very, very close to the transit way, where the UDB bifurcated a single parcel, which to me is cleanup and should have been done administratively without you having to go through as much as you had to, but that was rejected, and so here we are today. So I am in full support of this application, consistent with staff's recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So the item moved by Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, seconded by Commissioner Bermudez. Is there any further discussion on the item? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Gilbert?
Can you do it on the zoning, or? All right. Clerk, continue the roll call.
Commissioner Gilbert? Commissioner Gonzalez?
4.
Commissioner Hardeman? Commissioner Higgins?
Yes.
Commissioner Regalado? Commissioner Steinberg? Commissioner Bastion?
Yes.
Commissioner Bermudez?
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen-Higgins?
4.
Senator Garcia? Vice Chairman McGee?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Oh, yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, Madam Attorney, let's take the concurrent zoning item 8C1. If the director needs to read a statement. Are you done already? All right, so with that, Commissioner from the 8th District moves the item, seconded by Commissioner Bermudez. Commissioner Gilbert, you're recognized for a question.
I was just curious about what happened. I remember we dealt with this, and I thought that we were going to make it our policy that where it separated it, we didn't have to go through all of this to do this. We rejected that?
When did that?
When? I think that was my idea, so I don't.
Yeah.
So is that a question to the attorneys?
Yeah, it's to whoever can answer it.
The attorneys.
I may need to confer with Commissioner Cohen-Higgins. I think I remember what we're discussing, that there was an application before the CDMP, and there was some discussion about possibly revising or maybe expanding that. And I think there was also some discussion before
All
the
right, can
board.
we circle back with the commissioners and make sure that
Of course, I may go back to the tape on that.
If we can, because I'm willing to, like, I don't know. this doesn't make sense.
Correct. So I agree. Commissioner Cohen-Higgins, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Gilbert and Commissioner Higgins, for the question. When I say that it was rejected, I mean that the recommendation to do this administratively was rejected by the administration under the thought that we want to, because there's only, I could be wrong, 14 parcels county-wide where our urban development boundary bifurcates a single parcel. And I said, if we move this line, for one, especially the ones that are very close to our transit way, where our policies are inherently inconsistent, i.e. within a half mile of our busway, we need to encourage density, but the line is right there within the half mile, that should be cleaned up. The recommendation was to have these come application by application as opposed to doing it uniformly by way of changing our code. That way we are able to monitor each application and the way that the actual parcels would be developed. So that was the recommendation that I received, and that's why I did not move forward with that change. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner from District 5.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for that. I agree with you that it's inconsistent. I don't know where that recommendation came from. Did that come from the administration or from did we do? The administration. Okay, well, we make policy. And it's not that I don't appreciate your recommendation from time to time, but we're probably down to only 10 of these parcels now. So, Commissioner Gilbert, it seems like you're willing to put this forward, and we could have those parcels listed in that item. And then if anybody has any concerns, particularly the district commissioners, they could mention that at the time. But all of these parcels have to come for a zoning hearing anyway, so we find out what they're doing on their parcel. The problem with this is we have to find out twice, and you have to do twice the work. And I realize this is a great pleasure for you because you get to charge for this, but your client has to pay twice. And that's not very nice on our part as a government. So I would support you, Commissioner Gilbert, should you decide to take this on. Thank you.
All right. I think the Commissioner Koenig is saying she's got a hold on it, so she could proffer that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I still have the hold on it, and I'm willing to have a sunshine or work with my colleagues because I appreciate the shared sentiment here that the good homeowners and landowners of Miami-Dade County should not have to go through this much red tape on each of these applications, because if we're going to pass it for one, I'm pretty confident we're going to pass it for the other balance of the parcels. And so I'm happy to either have a sunshine or release it to you, whichever works, so that we can get this done from a policy-making perspective.
Commissioner
Thank
from
you.
District 7, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just to clarify a little bit, the issue at that meeting was that we could not add other property owners to that application and make that change because there wasn't notice. So what was decided is that that Commissioner Cohen-Higgins would work on an item that would be brought back to the board. Now, obviously, as we discussed it, and I did discuss it with the attorneys after the fact, you just have to decide if you're going to do it one by one and have them come, or you could bring an item that does it, but you would have to give them notice, right? Because it's really about notice. It's about notice to the public and notice to the owners. So it's just about finding the 10 properties, contacting the owners, and then bringing an item. You could do it all in one item as long as you provide notice and the public has notice of it. So really, it was just about you couldn't change the nature of an application by bringing in another property owner that didn't have notice and without the public. So I think it's just a drafting issue. It's just about contacting the existing landowners and giving them notification and bringing an item. I don't see why you couldn't do it. And this is a sunshine meeting, so I don't see why you couldn't do all of them as long as you reached out to them and it was put on an agenda and there was public notice.
Commissioner from District 1.
Chairman, we overcomplicate things sometimes. This is where we did something. We separated parcels. We know that we're going to unite the parcels. This isn't complicated. I'll take the item, draft the item, and then get it before the board. Whatever you have to do, draft the item, get it before the board. We need to be more intentional about allowing for business to actually move at the speed of business. Like this isn't complicated. This is simple. We were wrong when we separated those parcels like that. And it wasn't us. But we were wrong when we separated as a county. We should have never done that. So now let's just fix it.
Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
4.
Commissioner Hardeman, Commissioner Higgins, Commissioner Regalado, Commissioner Steinberg, Commissioner Bastian,
Yes.
Commissioner Bermudez,
Yes.
Commissioner Cohen-Higgins,
4.
Senator Garcia, Commissioner Gilbert, Vice Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
Vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
District Commissioner. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Vice Chair. Thank you, members of the board.
All right, Madam Attorney, can we take item 7C and 7C supplement at this time?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item 7C is an ordinance relating to Miami-Dade County Comprehensive Development Master Plan, providing disposition of application number CDMP 2024-0004, filed by the Miami-Dade County Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources as an out-of-cycle application to amend the urban center text of the land use element of the Comprehensive Development Master Plan related to the Douglas Road Metropolitan Urban Center, providing severability, exclusion from the code, and an effective date.
I'll go ahead and open up public hearing at this time. I have no public speakers signed up to speak. So is the applicant here? Is it a department item?
Yes, Chairman. This application was directed to be filed by the department, so this is a staff application.
All right, so public hearing is now closed. Does the department need to present anything at all or no?
We can present the recommendation if you'd like. We are recommending adopt as transmitted. The reasons for that are that approval would facilitate the development of the Douglas Station Metropolitan Urban Center as intended by the CDMP provisions for metropolitan urban centers. It will.
I got it. We got it. Commissioner from District 7, you're recognized for a motion? Commissioner from District 7? You're recognized for a motion?
Yeah, sorry. Move it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Regalado, seconded by Commissioner Gilbert. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hardeman, Commissioner Higgins, Commissioner Regalado,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinberg, Commissioner Bastian,
Yes.
Commissioner Bermudez, Commissioner Cohen-Higgins,
4.
Senator Garcia, Commissioner Gilbert, Commissioner Gonzalez,
4.
Vice Chairman McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, thank you very much. Madam Attorney, please take item 8C3. Director?
Application 8C3, 14th Street Miami Investments, application number Z 2024-000-125. We've had no protests and no waivers of support for this application.
Public hearing is now open. I've got no public speakers signed up to speak. Is the applicant here? I see you standing up, sir, but I don't have you signed up to speak. You did sign up.
There was one information card, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead. Approach, state your name and address. You have a minute to speak. On the item, 8C3. You can get started.
Good morning, everyone. Peace to you. Marion Brown, 12300 Northwest 17th Avenue. Speaking about the investment property here and all the other properties that's located in the community, these property has been also deemed and not been recognized by none of the commissioners that's actually on the board or any of the commissioners that's looked or stand in the standards that's looked like me. Throughout my whole community and the whole development of these projects that's been going through, they've been going through without the consent of anyone in the neighborhood, of anyone in the community. PHCD by Alex Bellini has destroyed the black community and continued to destroy the black community by coming back and trying to be a development. After all of the things that he's done, he should not be permitted to come back and do anything else in this community. And as it was asked about the peoples that was in the community about PHCD, PHCD stated that the mayor had. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. All right, public hearing is closed, Mr. Applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's good to see everyone. Good morning. Graham Penn, Burkhauer, Del Fernandez, Larkin, Tapanez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. Just want to know for the record that that previous testimony had nothing to do with this application. This is not anywhere near 17th Avenue. This is a .275 acre lot that is 2 minutes walking distance from the Miami-Dade County School Board Metro Mover Station. So this is an RTZ special exception application.
How much time are you going to need on?
It's at the Commissioner's discretion. I can give you the full presentation if we're interested.
All right, Commissioner from District 3, you're recognized.
I mean, he can give us some presentation so we understand what's
Is that your will?
Okay, I'll move it as quickly as I can. So here we are. You can see it's a small linear parcel, again, under 0.3 acres, which is like basically the equivalent of a EUM zoned lot. Surrounded on the east and the north by Miami-Dade County School Board property. To our northwest, we have a drive-in that was approved by the city of Miami. To the southwest, you got multifamily development, and the Paddle X paddle operation is immediately to our south. To the southeast is the school board assemblage that was a subject of an approval from 2022. That will be a mixed-use development if built. That will include the new school board location. That's, again, if that project moves forward. As I noted before, you can't get more infill or transit-oriented in this development. This property, again, is 2 minutes walking distance from the school board station. As you can see, a little red lines. We're also within 10 minutes walk of 3 other Metro Mover stations. And the situation as the Signature Bridge gets completed will be significantly improved for pedestrians in that area, as you know. This is a view of the current site. It's very narrow, north to south. We've got city streets on 2 sides and a county facility on the 3rd. This is a view of a rendering of the conceptual plan that is in for ASPR right now. You can see, again, given the size of the property, it is very linear. It's a blade-like building. This is a view looking west of the main entrance. This is 2 elevation drawings. Again, you can see, given the narrowness of the site, how the building lays out. Circulation, very straightforward. Vehicles will come in through Northeast First Court, go through an existing alley in the rear, and either drop off in the front on the eastern side, or if they're going to load anything, go into the central loading area, then move to the west and northbound only on Northeast First Avenue. It's a one-way road. Our covenant includes a proposed public benefits contribution of $150,000 for transit station repairs and upgrades to school board station or our center station. Landscape plan, again, as all RTZ development is encouraged to do, it really enhances the pedestrian realm. The sidewalks are the full width, and again, we're providing a good buffer between us and the cars in the downtown environment. That's another view of the main entrance again. And there's your hero image. So that's the short version of our presentation. Our team is here for any questions, and I guess I do not need to reserve time for rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner from the 3rd District. Any questions, any concerns?
Thank you. To the department, help explain to the board and those who may be watching what the step is that we're in right now, what's being requested of us at this moment.
Commissioner, this is the 2nd step in the process for a rapid transit zone project. This one's in the Metro Mover subzone. So today we're reviewing the general development plan. This is a public hearing, which is required by the code. And what we're looking at is basically the footprint of the building, the density that's proposed, landscaping, and other issues to confirm that no variances are required and provide the opportunity for the public to speak on this application. The 3rd step is an administrative site plan. Well, staff will get some more details to review. And then the final step, of course, is permitting.
So at this point where we are today, for instance, there's in the presentation and also in the supporting documents, there's the discussion of a $150,000 public contribution for the maintenance of the Metro Rail system, or improvements, if you will. Can you tell me how you came about with that sort of recommendation? Or was it proposed by the applicant, or was it something that the administration requests and it is discussed in this document?
The Metro Mover subzone provides that approval may be conditioned on a public benefits proffer by the applicant. So that amount was proffered by the applicant as part of their application, and it was reviewed by our staff as well as Public Works.
And can you describe, well, just for the record, all of these units, these are market rate units, these aren't affordable housing units or anything with a discount.
That's correct, they're market rate units.
Okay. And so is it our responsibility, I mean, is it the applicant's right to have a RTZ zoning granted to them?
Is it their right? They don't have
Right.
it by right. It's part of the public hearing process, the review process, and they have to meet all the code requirements.
Okay, so, but in the end, this board decides whether or not, we decide who has the benefit of the RTZ zoning and who does not have the benefit. Is that correct?
Correct. Each application is reviewed case by case.
So it's not one of those things where, in this case, where we're choosing a bunch of different parcels and deciding that all of these in this area receive RTZ approval.
Correct.
If they were not receiving RTZ approval, can you describe what sort of benefit they would get in the city of Miami through their zoning process?
The city of Miami zoning process, the main benefit is they get more units in the RTZ process with the county. The numbers are, if this was in the city of Miami, the most they would get would be 112 units,
And how many are they getting in this one?
283.
So, it's well beyond 150% sort of increase in my dirty math that I just did in my mind.
Correct.
And so, when is the most appropriate time to really discuss not only the public benefits that have been proffered in this circumstance, but future and other public benefits that could be derived from this sort of development in our community? When is the best time?
Will be today at the public hearing.
So with the other subsequent approvals, does it require any, are we allowed to make any additions to the public benefits that are being requested?
The other subsequent approvals are all administrative.
And so just to start with, in this circumstance, we're giving, or what's being proposed is more than 150% increase in their capacity to build, right? For an area that is absolutely growing. Close to the Metro Mover and such. And just the first thought that comes to my mind is the numbers just seem to be woefully low, especially when you're talking about the contribution that you will be making to the Metro Rail system, considering that you're near two. We've had other applications come before us in this body, in this instance, and the numbers have all at least been $1 million. I think about some of the contributions that have come through Commissioner Higgins' office, which we tend to, battle each other back and forth to see who can get the most contribution for the public. But where I am in this moment, colleagues, is that this is a significant benefit. I think it has a great contribution to our downtown core, the RTZ zoning that is. However, where I come from in the city of Miami, if you're going to give significant benefit that is not something that is, as I would describe, a right, and things can be negotiated by law, then we give it an opportunity for negotiation to have a greater benefit to the people who reside in that area or who are impacted by the development in that area. This is a beautiful project. It's a beautiful project. I do think we should take a little bit more time to consider what the public contribution should be. And I think that any sort of contribution, as what was described on the record, is incredibly insulting, considering the type of benefit that people are getting when they're moving to an RTZ development. I understand that the choosing to be RTZ has a lot more sort of benefits than just the venue that you're choosing to go through. And so, and because of that, I think we just need just a bit more time. So what I'm asking for is just a continuance in this item, just understanding what where my mind is on this, and to give us more time to discuss this matter before we move on, giving them a certain benefit that they will never have to come to us about anymore.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Commissioner from the 3rd District, so that is, to put it in proper terms, that is a motion for deferral at this point. Do we have a date?
Mr. Chair, if I can,
The question was, well, let me finish asking the commissioner. Thank you so much. Do you have a time you would like for this to come back?
In the next regular cycle meeting, I'm not trying to delay it much. I think in that time, we can probably get something accomplished.
Okay.
Through the chair, I apologize.
Hold on 1 second, please. One
All right,
second.
Commissioner.
What date do you have available?
The next one will, let me jump in. So the next one will likely be in June. So we're going to be canceling our May CDMP zoning because it conflicts with our DC fly-in. So it'll be in June.
Mr. Chair, the June BCC zoning meeting is currently on the calendar for June 18th, I believe, but I'd ask staff to just confirm that that's correct.
Commissioner from the, excuse me one second, I'm sorry. It's no problem. We're going to give you the mic, don't worry.
Yeah,
Commissioner from the.
I think I've got a solution.
Thank you. Commissioner from the 3rd District, does that date work for you?
That's fine.
All right, so we have on the floor a motion for deferral to the June 18th date.
Through the chair, again, could I apologize. Can we potentially, as an alternative, continue this until the end of this agenda, because my client is literally walking in the building and he can make some decisions about money that I can't make? If we could let the other items go, and that if we don't have anything resolved by the end of the meeting, then we can defer it.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate the offer. But it's not just about money in that sense. So I'll accept the deferral, and then we can handle the item later.
Give me a quick moment really quickly. Thank you. So on the floor at this particular moment, we have a request for deferral to the next scheduled meeting. Do I have a second?
To the May meeting instead of June?
Abby, to the next. Listen to the words that the vice chair is saying. To the next scheduled meeting that takes place.
Okay.
Whether it's May, June, July, or December of next year. The next scheduled meeting. What the vice chair is saying.
So my motion, to be very clear, was always to schedule to the next meeting. So whatever that meeting is what the meeting is. So I just want to be clear. So whatever the next meeting is that we're available to do this, that's what I'd like to schedule for.
If I can just clarify, if we have
I know you got
date-
noticing requirements. We might have to change dates though, because we have conflicts in May and in June. So we will be discussing this after this meeting, Abby. That's why I'm saying we don't have that date right now.
Understood. So then this would need to be re-advertised if we don't have a date. But then my understanding of the motion on the floor is a motion to defer this item to the next BCC zoning meeting that takes place.
Whatever that scheduled date is the scheduled date.
We're going to try to accommodate everyone as much as we can. The applicant, the commissioner, everybody.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
There's a motion. There's a second. I know Mr. Galbert is here. He represents some of the ownership. He may want to speak on the deferral.
Thank you, Commissioner. Listen, we're delighted to take more time, and we always want to listen to the Commissioner's suggestions. We're also prepared to proffer something now. So it doesn't matter. I mean, if the Commissioner wants to postpone it, we're okay with that. We just like to get the project going. I think that the housing is definitely needed and something that we want to do. So, and I would have been delighted to deal with it earlier had I known there was an issue. But as it is, we're happy to concede to whatever the Commissioner wants.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Russell Galbert. The address is 2200 Biscayne Boulevard.
Thank you. All in favor of a deferral?
4. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say this. Russell, you're a wonderful builder within our community. You do a lot of great things. You've contributed massively, I would say, to the district, so I appreciate you for that. I wouldn't cheapen our moment with this discussion on the dais. And so I appreciate you taking the time with me to meet.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
I'm happy to, anytime.
Okay.
Thank you. So did I get the all in favor of the deferral signify by saying aye? All against? Motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Attorney, let's take item 8C4. Does the director need to read anything into the record?
Yes.
Application 8C4, West Gables property, application number Z 2024-000-128. We've had no protests and no waiver of support for this application.
Thank you. We will now open the public hearing. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. To the applicant, how much time do you need on this application? And please state your name and your address for the record.
Hello. Hi. Victoria Mendez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. I'll need about 10 minutes.
She gets 1 minute.
Point of information. Yeah.
gives 1
Point of
minute.
information. She went to law school with me. She doesn't need 10 minutes. She needs at max 5 minutes. So she misspoke.
Thank you. And let me ask the chairman, Mr. Chairman, how much time do you believe this applicant needs?
I would like to hear it, but if you can condense it 3 to 5 minutes, just give me an overview of what this is.
Absolutely, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So we're here on Marquis Health. I'm here with the president of Marquis Health, as well as my partner, David Coviello. We also have our architect, engineer, and traffic engineer if you have any additional questions after this presentation.
Name and
This
address.
is for a skilled nursing facility
Name and address, though.
at 9025 Southwest 72nd Street.
No, your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry, Victoria Mendez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 4100, and I'm here with my partner, David Coviello. So I need to see if, okay. So this is the location, 9025 Southwest 72nd Street, Sunset. Right now, it's a vacant property. It was acquired in 2021. The context of the area, it's off of Sunset, close to the Don Shula Expressway. Our requests today are an unusual use in order to allow a skilled nursing facility. That's what it's called in the code, and it is allowed to be requested. And 2 non-use variances, one to permit an FAR of 1.15 instead of 0.85, and another to allow a reduction in parking spaces to 81 versus 117. The project details, it's a 2.5-acre site for the skilled nursing facility, 180 private beds, which is phenomenal. It's a 5-story building. We could build, as of right, a 9-story building, but the 5-story building just works well in context with the area. The site plan, as you can see here, it shows that the building is furthest, it's to the east, furthest away from any single family, and there's plenty of multifamily and single and commercial in between any single family. The renderings, it's a beautiful project. We also have some other boards if you want to see them closer. And the review criteria for the non-use variances, we just have to make sure that the general welfare of the public is protected and the intent and purpose of the zoning is kept, and also that it's compatible, which it is compatible with the surrounding areas. With regard to the FAR variance, the proposed FAR is 1.15, which is well under the comprehensive plan, and it also allows, in order to make the 5-story building versus the 9-story, which is just nicer and in context with the area.
Victoria, let me just jump in real quick.
Yes.
I've reviewed this application in depth, but there's some things, so I have some questions. Let's just kind of jump to that.
Perfect.
Is, when you say a skilled nursing facility, I have it here as a group residential facility, what, is this for the elderly? Is this for all ages? Like what, walk me through what's going to happen here.
Okay, perfect. I have our president, which is Michael Smith, and he is
Mr.
the one
Smith.
that could give you the best
All right,
information.
Mr. Smith, please state your name and address for the record.
Michael Smith, 2051 Rain Lily Drive, Center Valley, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so again, the question is, what's going to happen in this facility? I just have it as a, you mentioned skilled nursing facility, the application, I see the group residential facility. Who will be in this facility for what length of time? What type of persons?
So a combination, there will be roughly 100 to 120 long-term elderly residents and roughly 60, however, that number could go to as high as 80, kind of sliding back and forth, short-term rehabilitation residents.
Or elderly as well?
The vast majority would be elderly, yeah.
Okay, that's important for me to know if it is or it's not, because that will determine the parking, right? If they're able to, if they drive, if they don't drive, and you're asking for a significant reduction in parking spaces, shall they drive? If they don't drive, then it's a very reasonable reduction.
In my experience, residents / patients do not drive in skilled nursing facilities. We operate one currently at West Gables. It's all short-term, and there's no drivers there and has never been a driver since 2021.
Okay, and this has staff's recommendation.
Recommendation for approval with conditions.
I mean, I read them, but in the conditions, I mean, I guess my biggest thing is that this remains what they're applying for, right? That if, I mean, I imagine a new application would have to be proffered if you change course into an apartment building or a condo building, but I want to make sure that the reduced parking spaces applies only to this type of facility. Abby?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to defer to the director just to explain on this point.
Well, you
Commissioner, I
can
think we
explain
can-
your point, Director, but Abby, from a legal standpoint, I want to make sure that that the community is protected.
Understood, Mr. Chair. So this item is before you on an application for an unusual use, which is for this particular use. And then the applicant has presented a site plan, and that site plan is the one that has the reduced parking, and then they're seeking the associated non-use variances, including the non-use variance for parking. So it is all wrapped up together. If, for example, and I'd like for Mr. Silva just to confirm, but if, for example, a future property owner wanted to redevelop the property and do a different use, such as maybe an apartment buildings, then they would need to come in to, and maybe I can just defer to Mr. Silva on this point.
Yes, that would be a different application for apartment buildings. They have to meet the code for the apartment building parking ratios. Mr. Chairman, for your issue with the nursing and keep it a skilled nursing facility, it is on the plans, it's referenced throughout the report and the applicant's application. Abby and I, we could add an additional condition that says this will be a skilled nursing facility where the majority of the occupants are elderly, over 62 or something like that.
Okay, I would like to see that, and then just to be clear and make sure I understand correctly, so the slightest of change on this site plan has to come back before us.
So just to clarify, because this is coming before you on an unusual use, if the applicant doesn't develop the property pursuant to the unusual use and those site plans, it may be possible for them to walk away from this approval and then proceed with something else that would be allowed as of right. But as the director mentioned, if they were to try to develop the property as, say apartments, they would only be able to do what is allowed currently as of right for this particular zoning district and the associated parking.
And then that makes sense. All right, so can we add that addition? Are you guys okay with that?
Chairman, we also have our parking engineer here to answer the additional questions based on the number of people and beds, but I don't know if there was if the over 62, because it was supposed to also assist with rehab. So I'm 50 years old right now, 51 as of last month.
No need to age yourself.
If I would like to be able to go to this type of facility if I, broke my leg.
No, but what you're proffering, what you're suggesting is different, right? What did you suggest?
The majority of the occupants are over 62.
And you did say that the majority.
Yeah, Commissioner, I'd be comfortable saying the vast majority. It would be very unusual that someone would be under. Of course, it could happen. I'm 52. I could get in a devastating car accident and go for short-term rehab, but I wouldn't be driving in that situation. So again, I don't think it would impact parking. If it's helpful, this is what we do, is own and operate nursing homes or skilled nursing centers. We don't do.
He's saying vast majority. Don't add vast. Just say majority. We don't want to preclude anyone that needs the proper care. but I just want to make sure that the neighborhood could sustain the parking.
Thank you, Chair.
All right. With that, I move.
Mr. Chair, if I can just read the additional condition, and this would be added to the conditions
Yep.
of approval, that the use on the property shall be limited to a nursing home / skilled nursing facility where the majority of patients are over age 62.
Thank you. Any more questions?
I move the item.
Second.
Per staff recommendation with all of the conditions.
Hearing the motion, hearing a second from Commissioner Cohen Higgins, do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Regalado? Commissioner Steinberg? Commissioner Bastian? Commissioner Bermudez? Commissioner Cohen-Higgins?
4.
Commissioner Gilbert? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
4.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez?
4.
Commissioner Hardeman? Vice Chairman McGee?
Yes.
And Chairman Rodriguez?
I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and show the item successfully passed. Mr. Attorney, let's take up item 8C5. Does the director need to read anything into the record?
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Application 8C5, Extra Space Properties 2, application number Z20240000131. We've had no protests and no waivers of support for this application.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now open. Seeing no one, public hearing is closed. To the applicant, how much time do you need?
4 to 5 minutes, Mr. Chair.
One moment. Commissioner from District 11, how would you like to handle this?
I just have one question, and then if we can maybe minimize it to 2 minutes, I think we'll be fine. My one question is, was a traffic study conducted for this facility? The biggest issue that we have in that area is the traffic. Now, to Keon Hardeman's point earlier of live, work, play, when you create these work environments, right, rather than just putting housing out there without the work and play aspect of it, I think that it helps the community. But, we're looking at a storage facility. Did you guys conduct a traffic study? If so, what did that study say?
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. And for the record, my name is Brian Adler. Law office is at Bills and Sundberg, 1450 Brickell Avenue, Suite 2300, representing Extra Space Properties 2 LLC. I'm joined by my colleague Lauren Kahn and by our client Shannon Gubler, who did come in and came in for the hearing. A traffic study was conducted. The traffic study was, self-storage facilities are one of the more minimal uses, traffic generators of any of the uses that are there. The traffic study showed a 7 p.m. and 4 a.m. peak hour trips. Very, very minimal. The roads are operating at a level of service C before and after this use. Of all the uses that can go there, there's an existing facility, so it's kind of an economies of scale. They're just putting an additional storage facility on an existing site. It's just north of the Miami Executive Airport on 147th. Driveway connections are not changing, and the traffic is literally probably the lowest of any of the other uses that could be there. So traffic study was submitted, analyzed, and we do have favorable recommendation of traffic engineering and platting and traffic. So.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Chairman, it's at your pleasure, but I don't think I need a presentation. I'm favorable of this item. Unless some of my colleagues want to make any comments, I would move the item.
Thank you. Seeing the item that has been moved and seconded by Commissioner Cohen Higgins, are there?
Mr. Vice Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to confirm it's with the proffered covenant.
Is that correct, Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yes, it is. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steinberg? Yes. Commissioner Bastian? Yes. Commissioner Bermudez? Yes. Commissioner Cohen-Higgins?
4.
Senator Garcia? Commissioner Gilbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
4.
Commissioner Hardeman? Commissioner Regalado? Yes. Vice Chairman McGee?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Please show that the item has passed. Mr. Attorney, I do believe.
Sorry, Chairman Rodriguez? Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, is there a motion, or Madam Attorney, is there a motion that needs to be read into the record?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Chairman Rodriguez moves to amend the 2025 calendar of the Board of County Commissioners to cancel the May 22nd, 2025 CDMP zoning meeting.
Thank you.
Second.
Hearing the motion and hearing the second, all in favor? Aye. Against? So that the motion is passed. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second. Have a great day, everyone.
Speeding is heading to the governor's desk. Under the bill, drivers who go more than 50 miles per hour over the speed limit could face a fine of $500, 30 days in jail, or both. It would also apply to anyone driving 100 miles per hour in a dangerous manner. Representative Kelly Skidmore voted against the bill, admitting she has a lead foot.
By the way, most of us in this room are guilty of it. And I will tell you, for one, I do not imagine myself